Hi everybody, it's your old pal Chuck, and concluding Retaliation Week, we're taking a look at the last figure I got from Wave 1, Zartan. I already took him out of the package. Here's the front, that's standard, movie packaging. On the back you have showing him off with the different heads and weapons, and then you have the cross set. It's an interesting figure, so let's get to it. Alright, right off the bat, you should clearly be able to see that this version of Zartan is based heavily, if not meant to be, the version shown in the Renegades cartoon. This is basically the morphing chameleon suit that Zartan wore and eventually was stuck in when he made his second appearance in the cartoon, where he basically assumed his classic characteristics. The only difference I've been able to discover is the knife that's molded in right here on the chest plate is facing the opposite direction. Um, he's predominantly black in the shoulders, with a gray going down his waist and stomach with brown cloth highlights. Further down, it's basically meant to simulate a one-piece black boot, and that's about it. Now on the packaging, they showed him with a predominantly brown chest and highlights. Um, I don't remember which one's more cartoon accurate, but this doesn't look that bad. For articulation, he does have pin and socket joints at the arms, bent single joint at the elbow, rotate at the bicep, rotate at the wrist, ball jointed at the hips, single jointed knees, and nothing down past the knees in terms of articulation. I find this does help him stand. Now, you might have noticed I skipped over the head. Well, due to the gimmick of interchangeable heads and this hood, Zartan technically has no head articulation. I also forgot to mention he has a fantastic ab crunch that he can also rotate at. With the head, you can reach in with your finger and basically pushing on the nose and face, get it to rotate slightly. It is a bit difficult to do. Your mileage may vary depending on the size of your fingers. One thing I also wanted to point out that was brought to my attention by friend and fellow podcaster Justin Bell. Let me see if I can do it from this. The hands on Zartan have a very unique molding. Um, Basically, uh, this one is angled forward. That's to help hold his crossbow, which we'll get to in a moment. But they also have this great finger work, and let me focus in on this a little. And as you can see, very frail and creepy looking. Um, I really think this part of the design draws from the supernatural aspects of Zartan. Let's take a look at his accessories. Zartan comes with a unique assortment of weapons. Personally, I view them as weapons that are focused for the various heads, as if when he becomes a different character. First, has this very unique futuristic blaster, which can fit on a holster here in the back of his harness, just like that. He also comes with a backpack quiver. Now, unfortunately, as you can tell, the back of the arrows are slightly bent. That's how they were put in package. Also, the peg I feel is a bit too small as it doesn't sit as securely in his back that I would be happy with. He also comes with a scabbard with two swords. These are more the traditional ninja swords that Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow have been coming with um, in the Retaliation movie line. And then finally, we have the aforementioned crossbow. Um, I didn't realize it, but these two pegs here can be used to peg the crossbow into his back, which I find kind of odd because you would use this in conjunction with the crossbow. But take it what you will. Now, of course, you might be thinking that there's more accessories that I'm missing. Well, there are the interchangeable heads, which we're going to get to right now. Okay, to switch the heads on Zartan, you actually have to remove the hood, which is a bit easier said than done. If you remember my review of the Cobra Trooper, I mentioned how you basically had to bend the web gear further than I was comfortable with. Now, this web gear comes off a lot easier than the Cobra Troopers web gear, but it still feels like I'm having to use a lot more force than I want. Um, I'm gonna pause right here and come in and give you a close up of Zartan's unhooded head, and here he is. Um, I really don't think this matches the visage of the Renegades cartoon Zartan, but it also does not match the visage of Arnold Vosloo, who is Zartan from the movies. So this is a very unique look. And as you can see with the hood removed, he does have a wider range of movement. Now this is unique because this head I feel has the best range of movement. Also, there is light piping, which is a bit odd to have on a human-based figure, as that is kind of where his brain would be. But to show you, I can flash my light right over, and you can see, I hope it's coming up, that his eyes are glowing, like so. That's pretty cool. Now, let's take a look at his other heads. Here's the Storm Shadow head. As you can see, I gave him the ninja swords. Unfortunately, the hands don't hold them that well due to the extended molded trigger finger. Now, Zartan's eyes glowed green. Storm Shadow's eyes actually glow red, which I don't think is showing up on, oh, there we go. It's showing up on camera, but it's right about there. You do need that direct light to really get the head sculpt to shine. Also, the head is very limited and doesn't have that much of a movement. You can rotate it left to right, but that's about it. Here's what I believe to be the Duke head, basically because it does look like Channing Tatum. If you notice, the color pigment is very close to that faded ashy gray type color of Zartan's original head. Much like Storm Shadow, his head does have light piping and can glow red, as you can see right about there, if this is working right. Also, this does highlight one of the problems I've had with Zartan historically over the years, namely that the figures come with interchangeable masks, but nothing for the body. So basically, it just looks like Zartan wearing a Duke mask. That was changed in Pursuit of Cobra, where he did come with interchangeable web gear and weapons to make him into the character Sandstorm, and I hope going forward they continue to do that. And finally, here's the Snake Eyes head. This one does not have any light piping, obviously, since it's a mask. Um, and I decided to give him the blaster and the ninja swords, since he is technically a ninja slash commando. The weapons layout is up to you. This is just how I choose to do it. Um, I think this is maybe my favorite head, as on the body it doesn't look that odd. Like this could be a bodysuit for Snake Eyes, even though the colors don't match 100%. Um, let's pause here and I'll give you my final thoughts, and I'll show you how Zartan can hold the crossbow. And here's Zartan holding the crossbow. I just want to stress again, if you noticed throughout the video, I haven't had to really support the figure with my hands. He can stand on his own, which I think is due in large part to having the straight molding from the knees down. Sometimes more articulation really isn't that great. Um, that hand sculpted downward really does make it possible for him to hold the crossbow in a believable fashion. And if you know G.I. Joe, they have a history of using people coming with crossbows, and that don't always look right in the hands. Um, I can highly recommend Zartan. He's a cool figure, and I think would fit in okay with your Retaliation display, but fantastically with your Renegades display. He should be on shelves now, although I heard that Wave 1 was not released or re-released as heavily as it was previously, to focus more on the Wave 2 and newer Wave figures, since they're closer to their movie characters. Well, it's your old pal Chuck for Zartan. Thanks for watching Retaliation Week, and we'll see you next time.